What's up, Facebook? Ty Crandall here with Credit Suite, and today we're diving in and talking more about building business credit. As a matter of fact, we're actually going to be diving in. We're going to be talking more about how to get started building business credit by taking a look at 5 terrific vendors who can actually help you through this process. Look, starting building business credit, the hardest part of the process, and the hardest part of the process because these vendors are so hard to come by. Steve, hello, thanks for coming in. So what we find in building business credit is that vendors or credit issuers who will give you credit when you have none and then report that credit to the business credit reporting agencies are fairly hard to find. Okay, as a result, it's very difficult for many people to build business credit because 97% of trade vendors do not report to the business credit reporting agencies. So what happens in our world is a lot of people come in and say, yeah, I have established business credit. But then what happens when we pull the reports is they don't have any established business credit. And the reason is that a lot of vendors have given them credit. The vendors just don't report to the reporting agencies. So there's 2 very important things when it comes to vendors and building business credit. 1, they must report to the business credit reporting agencies or they're not providing you the necessary value. And 2, they must give you credit even when you have none now. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be diving into today. We're going to be talking about 5 terrific vendors that will help you build business credit. We're going to be talking about some of the basics of building business credit, and then we're going to be diving in and we're going to be talking a little bit more about these vendors who can help you build business credit. So let's go back to the chalkboard, okay? So remember, we're talking about building business credit the right way here, okay? So what this means is it means you cannot start with retail or cash credit from a bank. Okay, that's going to get you denied 100% of the time. Look, business credit building is a process. What happens is a lot of people want to skip steps, right? They want to go get a Visa card. They want to go get a Staples credit card. They want to get an Apple credit card, but that's not how it works in the consumer world either. When you started building consumer credit, you couldn't go into Staples to get your first credit card. You couldn't go get a Visa card as your first credit card. You started with small secured credit cards. Well, in the business world, it's exactly the same thing. You can't start with retail credit. You can't start with cash credit. You can't start with auto vehicle financing because you don't have an established credit profile and score that's necessary to get approved for that kind of financing. So we've got to build business the right way, the right steps. We can't start midway or all the way through the process. We have to start in the beginning. So the very first thing you've got to do is build trade lines. Okay, this is typically through what's called vendor credit. We call this the vendor credit tier. Okay, then what happens is that establishes a credit profile for you. That establishes a credit score. Now, I consider this to be what I call the trifecta. Trade lines, accounts reporting to the business credit reporting agencies, give you a profile, which gives you a score. When you have these 3 things, trade lines that give you a profile, that give you a score, then you have the basic foundation of what's needed for you to then start coming in to getting revolving credit. Now, eventually, you're going to move on to that. You're going to move to retail credit. You're going to move to cash credit tiers. So that's what's going to happen. But you've got to first get trade lines that establish the credit profile, that establish the credit score, and that's what's really necessary. So guys, thank you for the likes. Whoever's going crazy on the likes and loves, I appreciate that very much. So what we've learned here so far is this is a process. You have to start at the beginning. You have to get accounts that report to the business credit reporting agencies, pay them as agreed, that establishes a credit profile, that establishes a credit score, and then with the profile and the score, you can then move on to start getting the credit you really want to get. The Staples card, the Apple card, the Amazon, the Walmart, the Visa, the card, the MasterCard. And guys, again, thanks for going crazy on the likes. I appreciate it. So, what is vendor credit? Well, again, what we're talking about here is initial credit you can get even when you have none. This is credit that the reporting agencies will give you even when you have no credit now. Now, a lot of this, you're able to get basic business supplies, shipping boxes, outdoor workwear, okay, ink, toner, office furniture, marketing supplies, all those type of things. And they're typically going to get terms like net 30, net 45, net 60. So realistically, vendors are credit issuers that you could use to ease cash flow now. Instead of buying that computer, instead of buying that printer, instead of paying for marketing flyers, instead of paying for yard signs out of pocket, you could use vendor credit to get you those things. Then you have things that you really need to grow the business while building business credit at exactly the same thing. And again, thanks for going crazy on the likes and loves. The more engagement we get, the more people we get in here, the more people we can help. Mike, hello to you. So thanks for coming in. So remember, when it comes to vendor credit, what we're trying to do is 2 things. 1, ease cash flow. Get you credit for stuff you really need now that you don't have to pay out of pocket for, and help you build initial business credit. Remember, we're adding the trade lines that give you the profile, that give you the score. So that's our goal. In order for this to work, we've got to get credit with vendors you're actually really going to use, okay? So you got to find the ones that sell the stuff that you really want to sell. Now, they do offer terms like net 30. It actually could be 30, it could be net 15, it could be net 55, it could be net 45, it could be net 60. What this means is it means you have that much time to pay back the balance in its entirety. So unlike a revolving account where you put a $1,000 balance on there, you pay 25 bucks a month till that's paid off. With net accounts, when you have net 30, you got 30 days to pay the balance off in its entirety, okay? Don't worry, these are better than secured cards, not as good as revolving, but remember, this is the first step. The next step is to move you to revolving credit. Again, guys, thanks for the likes and thanks for the loves. So remember, this is where you're going to start this process, okay? You're going to need to get as many trade lines as you can for big payoff. You're going to need about 10 to 14 to get to the final tier. You don't need that many vendor accounts. You probably need about a handful. But remember, the more of these trade lines you have, the easier it is to build business credit that you're going to get. Okay, so here's an important tip. So a lot of people think that business credit building is based on a lot of other things. A lot of people think that business credit building is based on how long you've been in business. A lot of people think it's based on your revenue. It's not. I'll tell you the secret how this whole thing works. It's the number of trade lines you have. If you show me somebody that has 15 trade lines, I'll show you somebody that's going to get a Staples card, Amazon card, Walmart, etc. I don't care their revenue. I don't care their time in business. This whole system is based on the number of trades you have. The reporting agencies, based on the number of trades you have, a lot of the credit issuers' computers automatically issue approvals if you have the appropriate amount of trade lines, which means your revenue, which means your time in business. These other things that people allude to being important aren't really important. What actually is important, what actually matters more than anything, is the number of accounts you have reporting. The more accounts you get reporting, the more credit becomes available for you, and the higher the limits become on the credit that's available for you as well. If all you did was add more accounts to your business credit reports, your limits would keep getting higher, the recommendation of credit from the bureaus would continue to get higher, and the more tiers of credit would become available. The Visa card, the MasterCard, the cash credit tier, auto vehicle financing, the store retail credit tier, the fleet credit tier, all of this stuff becomes available. So I've got some questions coming in here. Let me go ahead and make sure that they're answered. And thank you, Judah, for coming in. Al says, need a test subject. You need to show people how well it works. LOL. No, that's okay. We have like 20,000 test subjects and hundreds of feedback on our website from people that have actually we've helped through this process. I can vouch for everything Ty stating. Thanks, Melissa. I appreciate that. Can't do anything right now because of Sun Business backed up. That sometimes does happen. Okay, so let's take a look. So what we're going to do is, remember, we're starting here. The number of trade lines matters. We've got to get initial credit. This is the hardest part of building business credit. Guys, you get past this, the rest of it's a reward because you're getting revolving credit. I mean, it's what we all want. So this is the only work involved. Remember, 97% of trade vendors that don't report, you've got to find the ones who will report and will give you credit when you have none. Now, again, this is a very important step, okay, because this is easier to get than retail credit. You're not going to be able to start with retail credit, but you're able to start here, okay, and it leads to retail credit. That's credit with most major retailers. It also gives you the basis of what you need for lender approval. Well, so you have to remember here that business credit building is all about trade lines. The more trade lines, as I mentioned, I want to show you some actual reports here. The more trade lines that you actually have reporting, the easier it is to get financing and other kind of things that you really want to get. I'm going to pull up two examples here to show you a little bit about what I'm talking about. So for example, these are real commercial credit reports with experience. Okay, now we can see here that somebody has a 28 score, $1,000 limit. Let me actually go to 100% here to make it look a little bit better. Okay, and then we also see that the person has absolutely no credit. I'm at the end of the report. I can't scroll down more. We see here there's all zeros. They have no credit and they have a failing score. Okay, so this commonly happens. The bureaus will issue you a failing score. Here's what's crazy. This is a financial stability risk score right here. This depicts your risk of going bankrupt. You can see you're about as high a risk as you can get because of having no trade lines. Now here's what's crazy. When we add one vendor account, as you're about to see, here's somebody that had that same kind of credit report. Look, here it is. Here they were. They had that same 28 score right there. Okay, now they're up to 96. The credit limit recommendation went up to 250% here too. And what did they do? They added one account to their business credit report. Look at it. One. There's only one. Trade payment. One. This is Uline. I'll introduce you to them in a minute. They spent less than $100 on that one account. And that one account took them, as you can just see here, from a high risk to an extremely low risk. As a matter of fact, look at how low risk they are with one account. Look at this. Their financial stability score went from here, high risk, all the way to here. How's this possible? possible because business credit scores are based on payment history. So the bureaus, if you don't have any credit, they see you as high risk automatically. You're high risk because you have no credit. But the beautiful thing is that if you have one account, one that reports to to Experian and Equifax, that one account paid as agreed will give you a good score. DMB requires 3 accounts. So that's a commonly asked question. Hey, I got credit with DMB. They won't report it. No, they are. You just don't have enough accounts. In order for DMB to populate a report and a paydex score for you, you need 3 accounts reporting and you need to have your DUNS number. If you have 3 accounts and a DUNS, you'll get your credit profile established with DMB. If you have 1 account reporting with Experian and Equifax, it can establish your profile and give you a good score. But as I just showed you, you have to be careful because Experian and Equifax will create a credit report for you if they know your business name, address, and SIC code. They get all 3 from the Secretary of State when you file your annual report. So the minute you file that annual report, within months, you're probably going to have a populated credit report and a failing score if you haven't established any business credit, which is why what I'm about to show you is so important. Guys, thanks for the likes. Thanks for the loves. I really appreciate it. And Martel says, what are a list of small businesses that can qualify for this type of credit that can be successful in keeping them? Any business can. Business credit is as equivalent to a business having its credit profile as it is for a consumer. Anybody in the United States that has a Social Security number can have a credit profile. Any business in the United States that has an EI number can build business credit. So this applies to all industries, all businesses, even if you're coming in and even if you are a nonprofit. So let's take a look at some of these. So let's take a look at some of these vendors that report. Okay, let's start right here with Uline Shipping Supplies. Now, Uline's one of my favorite because they sell shipping, packaging, and other types of supplies. Now, they report to Dun & Bradstreet, and they're going to require that you have your DUNS number. Now, you can go to creditsuite.com/DUNS, and you can get that free DUNS number. Now, your DUNS number is 100% free, but Dun & Bradstreet, when you apply, they will email and they will call you trying to sell you something. They'll try to sell you something they call their credit builder for about $1,500 or about $150 a month. You absolutely do not need that. You do not. Okay, no matter what they say, they're going to tell you need it to get your DUNS, you need it to activate your credit profile and score. It's not true. To get your DUNS, you go to creditsuite.com/DUNS, 100% free to get. Has to be free because contractors have to get it to work for the United States government. Okay, it has to be free. And secondly, to activate your credit profile, the mysterious thing they try to charge all this money for is fairly simple. I already told you how to do it. You get 3 accounts that report to them. You do not need to pay them that money, but you do need to monitor your business credit. If you want to do that cheap, go to creditsuite.com/monitoring. And there you can access our nav integration where you can get DMB and Experian for only $24 a month. You can actually get DMB, Experian, and Credit Safe and add utility accounts, cell phone, everything to Experian and Credit Safe for only $99 a month. So it's way cheaper than paying DMB $150 a month to monitor your credit when you don't really need to. Okay. So, and then let me look. Okay, so Play says, Uline did not extend me in at 30 account, nor did Granger. Quill was the only one. I'm looking for 2 more. Okay, great. So let's talk a little bit about this. So what he's saying, Play is look, I tried to get proof for Uline and I couldn't. Yes. Here's something about Uline and Quill you should know. If you haven't set up your business credibly, and I'm not going to cover all that in this stream, if you haven't set up the business credibly and you haven't been in business or don't have any trades, there's a possibility Uline and Quill may make you place 2 to 3 orders before they approve you. No worries. Do it. Go buy $50 worth of stuff. Apply for credit. They turn you down. Pay for the $50 worth of stuff. Go buy another $50 worth of stuff. You do this 2 to 3 times, they will approve you. I've never, ever seen a scenario where somebody didn't get approved the 2nd or 3rd time with Uline and with Quill. So again, you're going to need that DUNS number. I told you how to get that. 2 references, including a bank reference. A reference is just somebody else that you have credit with. A bank reference is just somebody that works at your bank that you have your business bank account with. They're asking for bank references just to verify you have a business bank account. One of the very first things you should do is establish a business bank account because a lot of it is used to judge the legitimacy of your business, how long your business has been open and really operating, right? Anybody can set up a corporation, but if you really are going to start doing business, you open a business bank account. So what credit issuers in the business credit world are going to do is they're not going to ask you for your bank statements. They're going to ask you for a bank reference. The bank reference just verifies that you have a business bank account. That's what they're actually doing there, okay? So Al says, phone's about to die, Ty. Can you inbox me, phone number, let's get the party started. You can definitely hit us up on Messenger, creditsuite.com or facebook.com/creditsuite, and we will help you get taken care of. You're correct. That's what they told me. Yes. Okay, so yes, Play said the same thing. He said, yes, Uline told me I needed to place a few orders, and you should do so. Don't just abandon them. And Pamela says, I have Quill, still working on the others. I've been looking for 2 others. Well, great. You're in the right place because we're going to be diving in and talking about that. Okay, so first few orders, you may need to go ahead and pay in cash. Or again, and then they're probably going to apply you for a net 30. So how do you apply? You add an item to your cart, you go to checkout, you select open an account, you select to be invoiced. And that's typically the wording on these will say something like invoice me. Okay. And again, guys, thank you for the likes and thank you for the loves. It keeps more people coming in here. It keeps Facebook knowing that we've got something going on. Here's my personal fave, Quill. Now, Quill.com, they sell packaging and cleaning supplies and a lot of different stuff, and they report to D&B. Now, here's why I love Quill. I love Quill because Quill sells office supplies. They sell printers. They sell computers. They sell yard signs. They sell marketing services. Let's be honest. This is stuff every business owner needs. So to be able to get credit to buy the stuff you really need and build business credit at the same time is just like a huge benefit. And again, guys, thanks for going crazy with the likes and the loves. I appreciate that. Okay, so you've got to have your D&B credit score in some cases. Okay, or must have D&B credit score. But if you don't, they just, okay, let me clarify this. So Quill, like Uline, will maybe approve you if you place your first order, or maybe the second or third order they'll approve you. If you have a D&B Paydex score established initially, you're going to have no problem getting approved. They do check Experian as well. Now again, you're going to place the initial order, okay? They may make you go onto a 90-day repayment schedule. They may not report that account for 90 days, okay? Or they may make you prepare, or they make you place 3 orders before they'll approve you. Same as Quill, or same as Uline here, add item to cart, go to checkout, select open account, select to be invoiced is how we're going to get approved for them. Now next we're going to talk about Grainger. Now Grainger sells outdoor supplies, hardware, power tools, pumps, okay, fleet maintenance. So you're going to have any business licenses that are necessary, your EIN and your DUNS number again here, okay? Now let me tell you something about this credit building. You know, I say a lot of things like get your DUNS number, but you'll see some sources don't care about the DUNS, others require it. So what you're going to do is just follow these steps because everybody might not require your DUNS, but you should still supply it. So we had an instance, for example, where a client got denied for Staples but had established business credit. We had the client supply the DUNS number even though Staples didn't ask, and it turned the denial to an immediate approval. And the reason was Staples had a hard time finding their payment history. With the DUNS number, they were able to find the payment history. So my recommendation for you is always supply the DUNS even if it's not asked for, okay? So, and Ken says, Ty, Fundbox approved me for $3,000 line. Thanks for the info. That's great. Guys, Fundbox is one of the easiest credit lines to get. If you want to get approved, go to creditsuite.com/fundbox. FUNDBOX. We are the biggest affiliate. We send more business to them than anybody because it's so easy to get credit lines with them. Creditsuite.com/fundbox. So congratulations, Ken. Over 100 viewers. Wow, yes, that's awesome. We are attracting more people on Messenger, which is great. What is the impact of reliable acquisition by Office Depot? So far, we are not seeing that. Okay, that happened a while ago, and we're all really not seeing any kind of impact. They're both still reporting we're not having issues there. And then Thomas says, I use Quill and Uline. They no longer allow me to order anymore so I could be invoiced. What can I do? Because the first few orders they gave me net 30, I'd find out whether or not letting you order. I've never in my time seen a situation where that both are not going to allow you to order anymore. So you got to ask them what that is. That's really weird. I have Cool and Uline. I also set up my business banking account at the same time. Great. Okay, awesome. Just looking for the third. Okay, well, we're moving on. Okay, so Grainger, okay, they're going to give you over $1,000 credit limit. They're basically going to approve anybody with a business license. Under 1,000, they're going to require basically trade references and bank references. And they're going to have you fax the application in or apply by phone. Now, another one here is Wells Fargo. Now, this is a secured business credit card, and this one does have a credit check and average credit required. Okay, $25 annual fee, no big deal. They report to Experian, line of credit of $500 to $25,000. Remember, it's secured, okay? You've got to be an online customer with them. Okay, and they're offered only for permanent U.S. citizens. Okay, you can apply online, by store, by phone. So ask me about secure credit cards. There's not a lot in the business world. It's pretty rare, but Wells Fargo is probably one of the best ones out there to help you do that. If you want a regular credit card that's not secure, you can try Capital One. I say that because Capital One may approve you with a 620 to 650 FICO. The problem you got to look out for with Capital One is they report your credit to both the consumer and the business reporting agencies. You got to be careful there because 30% of your consumer credit score is utilization. So if you put a business credit account on your consumer credit report and you put a balance on there, it can really adversely affect your consumer score. So I'm not a big fan. But people have been mean and yelled at me because I don't mention Capital One. So I don't want you to be mean and yell at me. So I'm going to tell you Capital One's a possibility. You just have to be really careful about the consumer reporting. Okay, Reginald says Cabbage.com is a good funding source. Cabbage is a good funding source if you have the revenue. Okay, Tash says, how do I find out which ones are reporting and which ones are not reporting yet? I got signed up with 5 trades to start. What you need to do is get credit monitoring. You can go to creditsuite.com you can go to any of the reporting agencies to get credit monitoring, or just go to creditsuite.com/monitoring. It's only $24 a month to monitor Experian and D&B with us, and that's 90% cheaper than you're going to pay with the reporting agencies. So monitor your business credit, but do it as affordable as possible. If you go through D&B, it's $150 a month. Experian's $50 a month. At creditsuite.com/monitoring, it's only $24 a month, and you can choose the advanced monitoring for only $100 a month. Get credit safe reporting and then add utility accounts. You can add water, you can add electric, you can add power, you can add gas. All those things to your business credit reports, really expediting your business credit building. So that's exactly what you want to do. LA, what's up? Thanks for coming in. I have a C Corp US and business account with Bank of America, but I'm in Canada. Would that work? Sure, it doesn't matter. Building business credit, as long as you have the ability to, yes, you can still build business credit. The bottom line is if you have a U.S. business, you're okay. You're going to need to come in with your TIN. You're going to need to come with your social. But even if you don't have a social, you're still able to get a TIN and you're still going to be fine. Okay, so let's look at Strategic Network Solutions. So stntsol.com. Okay, tech training support. You're going to need an EIN, a business entity, a corporation. Okay, to be able to get set up. So you're going to have that EIN set up. Now remember, if you go to facebook.com/credit suite, you can type in EIN into our messenger. You'll get a whole guide that will map out a lot more of these details as well. And let me talk a little bit about a few more. So we've talked about Uline, we've talked about Quill, we've talked about Granger. Now Gimplers is hit or miss. Gimplers is outdoor workwear, and they're now starting to report to D&B. They stopped. Then there was an uproar. People flipped out. And I don't think they accounted for how many people were using them just to build business credit. So Gimplers is back now reporting to D&B, but it's kind of a little bit hit or miss. We've also got a client called T-Shirt Club. They offer T-shirts, and that's a great vendor account too because, come on, it's T-shirts. Anybody can use that. So with those accounts, that's 7 trade lines that you can use as vendors. And remember, you only need 5. Now, let me give you 2 more tips. You don't need vendors to build the initial business credit. There's 2 shortcuts if you'd like to take them. One is if you have good personal credit or a guarantor that does, you can get up to $150,000 in credit lines that report to the business credit reporting agencies. Okay, so that's a great way to go. You can go to creditsuite.com/get funding to get it. You need about a 680 plus FICO for you or a guarantor. That one does have a PG and it does require good credit, but you can get cash credit lines up to 150 grand and build your business credit at the same time. The third way is to go to creditsuite.com/monitoring. And if you look at our advanced credit monitoring product, you'll see we are doing something that's never, ever, ever been done before. You now have the ability to take accounts you already have, including utility accounts, which has never been able to be added to business reports, and add them to your Experian and Credit Safe reports. That means your water, your gas, your electric, your satellite TV, your cell phone, your lease payments, your rent payments, all can be added. So remember, business credit building is all about how many trade lines you have. So you can imagine how nice it is when you can instantly add 5 to 10 trade lines to your report and have a report in like 30 days. So that's what our advanced credit monitoring product does. It gives you access to Credit Safe. It gives you access to D&B, Experian credit reports. It also lets you add accounts you already have to Experian and D&B. So there's 3 different ways to build that initial business credit. We've talked about 7 vendors you could use. We talked about how you can add existing accounts you already have and how you could use good personal credit to do it. I don't care how you do it, but when you do it, you need to have at least 5 of these accounts to move on to the next step. And the next step is revolving credit. The next step is Amazon. The next step is Walmart and Staples and Apple and Lowe's and Home Depot. That's what happens when you get those 5 accounts initially added, and I gave you 3 ways to do it. So let me go ahead and jump in, see if there's any other questions that I can help answer here, okay? I have to look at that Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo is going to ask for your social, and they're going to do a credit check. They're going to ask for your social and do a credit check because what's happening is as I mentioned, that credit card does require a credit check and 620, 650 score for approval. But you bring up a good question. As of 2018, the government has now mandated that major banks get the identification of the person applying. So as you get to revolving credit, you're going to see they're going to ask for your social and date of birth, but they should tell you it's for verification purposes only. If they don't, you have to clarify that with them. Never give them the social if they don't, because you don't want the credit check. You don't want the personal guarantee. It's very important. Karen, what's up? Met you in Dallas. That's awesome. It was such a great event in Dallas. For those of you that I didn't get a chance to see there, that was awesome. Great information. I appreciate that. How would you clean up your business credit if you have late payments? Here's what you need to do. Okay, your business credit scores are based on your average payment history, how you pay your bills on average. Thanks for the likes and thanks for the loves, guys. I appreciate it. So that means that if you want to offset damaged business credit, step 1, add more positive. The more positive will offset the negative. Step 2, dispute them with the reporting agencies they're reporting with. Dun & Bradstreet has a service called iUpdate. Experian and Equifax, through their credit monitoring, will let you dispute the account. Dispute the account. Typically, the account can get deleted, including the good payment history will go with it, and then add more positive accounts. Those are things that can help you there. How much do you charge for the funding PG? We don't charge anything for funding. Okay, just so you know, we don't charge a dime for any kind of money you get. The lenders pay us like a kickback or a referral fee. The lender will charge about 9.9% fee with that. They'll typically get you 5 times the amount that you'll get on your own, up to $150,000 in financing, 0% rates for 6 to 18 months. They let you take the physical cash out on the cards, and they get you the cards with the most points that have business reporting. Okay, why doesn't Fundbox report? Don't know. They originally were supposed to, but here's the kicker, guys. It's pretty tough for people to report to the reporting agencies. I know, because we help them report. The reason we have more vendors available in our back office than you'll find anywhere is we help people get in the business to report, right? So our clients are able to access SEO services, website services, marketing services, and all have those report. But in order to report to D&B Equifax Experian, especially if you're in financial services, D&B requires like 2,000 accounts that you're sending over to them monthly. So there's just a good chance that Fundbox doesn't have the volume that they need to even get it reported, but I can't speak to that. You'd have to actually ask them. How can I get this whole video? Go to facebook.com/credit suite. You will find it in the video section there. Can I add virtual office payment, AT&T business account to advance? Yes, you can, but no AT&T. The reason you can add AT&T is AT&T already reports. So because AT&T already reports, we found that they won't let you add them. Pretty common. If somebody already reports to the reporting agency, they're not going to allow a third-party service to add them, just so you know that. Any news on NAV integration reporting to all three? It is coming soon. NAV did roll out Equifax. They've told us we will have access by the end of the first quarter. That's next month, so we're still hoping to make that happen. And we're inquiring with them about the FICO SBSS score, and we have a LexisNexis score, first time ever, coming out this year as well, called the fundability score. It takes LexisNexis data, same data the lenders are using that you don't know about, and then it cross-checks your data and tells you all the discrepancies so you can fix it, because that's why a lot of people end up getting denied. So that stuff is still yet to come. Can I call my vendors to see if they report to the credit bureau? I do. I ask everybody if they report, and if not, then send them to us. Okay, go to info@creditsuite.com. Let us know their name and let us help them get the ability to report. Do you have any upcoming conferences or networking events? Yes, we do. Monitor our Facebook page, and I'll get them updated with where we're going. I have no idea where I am at any given time, but I think I'm going to a real estate 411 conference in Boca later this month. But if you monitor our Facebook page, I'll make sure that we get those things added. And we have Credit Fest coming up, like in June, May. And we have a whole day at Credit Fest. So you can go type in Credit Fest, check out the Facebook page. We'll be at Credit Fest at an entire day at Credit Fest, where it's just going to be us talking all about business credit financing and those type of things. If your personal credit is good, can you get that funding on a new business? Yes, you can. You can get that up to $150,000 credit line for a brand new startup business because it's no doc. Where can I find the 7 ways for credit? I think you're asking about the 7 vendors. Go back and watch this video in its entirety. You can go to facebook.com/credit suite to do that. Where is the T-shirt club site? Not sure, but if you type in T-shirt club, I hope that you'll be able to find it that way. What's price of Credit Fest? I should know that. I should, but I don't. So you should go to Facebook to find Credit Fest page. I won't tell you something I don't know to be true, and I'm not positive, so I won't tell you that. Okay, so went through a lot of stuff today. right? Talked about vendors, how to get approved. We talked about what the importance is, not skipping steps. You got to get initial credit. We've got to find vendors that report because 97% don't. We looked at Uline, we looked at Quill, we looked at Granger, we looked at Wells Fargo Secure, we looked at Strategic Network Solutions. We talked about Gimplers as well. We talked about T-Shirt Club as well. It gives you 7. We've got a whole guide here that maps out more in depth the process of building business credit. We skipped all the steps except for vendor. Facebook.com/credit suite. Now, if you type in the words EIN into Messenger, your 2 things are going to happen. You're actually going to get notified whenever we go live, Wednesday at 4 o'clock. We don't like abuse Messenger and send you like a bunch of spammy crap. We're basically just using it to notify you when we go live. And the second thing that will happen is you're also able to then download that free guide, and that guide will map out everything you need to know to build business credit. So it's a facebook.com/credit suite. Type in EIN into Messenger. Keep in mind, guys, we go live every Wednesday at 4 o'clock Eastern to give you the topics we're going to be talking about, the incredible easy ways to set up profiles with a business credit reporting agency. I'm going to map this out. We're going to talk about the remarkable truth about SBA loans, all the stuff you need to know. Trust me, you're closer to being able to qualify than you may know you are. And we're going to talk about where the reporting agencies are actually getting your data. We're going to decode this because all these lending are made based on where this data is coming from. And if you don't know where it's coming from, then it's harder point to get approved. Okay, so let me see anything else. I have business credit already established, 9 reporting to DMV, 3 to Experian. Great job, man. 2 to Equifax. I have all the vendors you talked about reporting my business. Well, then you don't need more vendors. And I'm going to click see more. Oh, there it goes. Reporting my business credit. Where do I need to go from here? You need to get revolving credit, whatever revolving credit you want. You should be able to get Staples, Lowe's, Home Depot. You should be able to start getting Amazon and Walmart. All that credit should now be available for you. More people to know that you know the simple. I know. That's why you need to. Hopefully you shared it like we were here. Share it like this. Let's let people know. My goal in life is to make sure everybody understands how business credit works and how to get it, because I didn't have it and my mortgage industry collapsed and it was a nightmare. It ruined my personal credit. They wiped out my bank account and took all the money in our personal bank accounts because I personally guaranteed business credit and I didn't know how to do the stuff I now teach about so you can avoid those exact same mistakes. Now remember, if you type in EIN here, I don't know if it'll work, but if you go to facebook.com/credit suite and type in EIN there, I know you'll be able to grab that guide. Awesome lifetime. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. And Sam's easier than Walmart. Yep. What cards do you try to get for when you're in tier 3? Well, I don't know. Everybody defines these tiers as different. But for me, whatever you're going to use. When it comes to retail credit, what are you going to use? Okay, I don't have gas cards because I don't need them. But I have Office Depot and I have Staples because we use them all the time, right? We use Amazon all the time. We use Walmart all the time. You need to get credit you're actually going to use. Too many people screw up this process trying to build business credit just to build business credit. Oh, I need 5 trades. Let me go get 5 trades. Stop. Your credit reports show the recent amount of credit you've used. If you want to get high limit accounts, you need to be getting credit you're actually using and use that credit. Then your credit reports reflect that you're putting a lot of money on there, and then your future approvals are like substantially higher as a result. So get credit with the credit issuers you're actually going to use and use the credit. That's the secret. That's the kicker. That's the tip that will actually help you get higher future limits as a result of that. Okay, Tyson, my guy, I appreciate that moment. I have a virtual office with Regis. How can I get them to report? You can't. You can go to creditsuite.com/monitoring, choose our advanced monitoring. We will add them, but you can't go to Regis and get them to report. Although we are working with Alliance virtual offices to help Alliance report, just so you know. Regis just doesn't seem to care. Your outsourcing the guy was great. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this up. So you know what's to come in the weeks to come. We got a lot of great stuff. This is the place to be if you want money for your business, period. I have a minion. Mark just put a minion up there. That's awesome. So thank you for your likes. Thank you for your loves. Thank you for your questions. Thanks for your engagement. Thank you for your shares. I'm here every Wednesday at 4 o'clock Eastern, and all my topics are about one thing: how you get money for your business. We pull back the curtain. We show you all the stuff the lenders and credit issuers know that you don't know. And by understanding how their process works, you can, I don't want to say manipulate in a bad way, but you can manipulate it to make sure you meet their criteria to have the best chance of getting approved before you even apply. Thanks for tuning in. Look forward to seeing you next Wednesday at 4 o'clock Eastern, where we'll be diving into a bunch of really cool topics. I already showed you what's to come in the weeks to come. Thanks everybody and Melvin says Credit Safe will report Regis. Perfect. Credit Safe reports everybody, but Experian, Equifax, and DMB are the main ones, and it's a little bit tougher to get them done. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the loves. Thanks for the shares. Thanks for the engagement. I'll see you next Wednesday at 4 o'clock Eastern. If you missed any of this, go to facebook.com/credit suite. Watch it in its entirety. And don't forget, while you're there at facebook.com/credit suite, type in EIN into the messenger and you'll get our free guide that maps out the entire process of building business credit. Thanks guys for sharing. Thanks for your like. Thanks for your loves. I look forward to talking to you next Wednesday at 4 o'clock Eastern. Thanks everybody. Have a great day.